Metal Gear, one of the most legendary game franchises. With the recent Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, including the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake on modern consoles, it was a perfect opportunity to take on the challenge of 100%ing the game. My only experience with the franchise was picking up Metal Gear Solid 5 on release nearly 9 years ago. I only played it through halfway, so now is the perfect time to start 100%ing these games. We'll be starting from the very beginning with Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Snake Revenge. However, rest be assured, we'll be going for the rest very shortly. Starting with the original Metal Gear, which was released in 1987. We actually waste no time unlocking our first achievement, Go Ahead Solid Snake, for simply starting the game. Playing as a rookie with the codename Solid Snake, we are tasked by Big Boss with infiltrating a fortress known as Outer Heaven. We need to make contact with an operative Grey Fox and investigate the ultimate weapon known as Metal Gear. We commence Operation Intrude N313 and sneakily run around Outer Heaven while rescuing prisoners of war, who tell us information on where to find Grey Fox. However, our sneaking days are short-lived as we captured and thrown into our own cell.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
This doesn't stop the rookie Snake as we go full Steve from Minecraft and break down the wall with nothing but our fists. Conveniently, the cell next to us contains operative Grey Fox, who reveals to us that Metal Gear is a new nuclear weapon, which is designed as a walking battle tank, which is capable of launching a nuke anywhere in the world. Grey Fox tasks us with destroying Metal Gear, but first, we have to find the developer, Dr. Petrovich, who will tell us how to destroy the weapon. We run into the first boss of the game, Shoot Gunner, who we easily take care of as he can't look to his sides. Snake infiltrates deeper into Outer Heaven and finds intel from a POW that we have to parachute off the rooftop to end into a courtyard to try and find the doctor. Along our sneaking journeys, we are interrupted by Machine Gun Kid, who shoots you guessed it, a machine gun. Snake makes light work of the mercenary and we continue forward onto the rooftop. Now, Outer Heaven actually contains a very interesting rooftop as it is sealed by a wind barrier. Snake navigates a moving bridge and jetpack enemies. Finally, we run into a Hind D, which Snake is able to maneuver himself into an invulnerable position while lobbing grenades at the attack helicopter to defeat it.
Think fast.
We now parachute off the rooftop, only to find out that Dr. Petrovich has been moved into a building 10 kilometers deeper into the base. This doesn't stop Snake as we push forward and end up meeting face to face with a battle tank. We plant mines in its way and watch it destroy itself to continue further. Once we are deep into Outer Heaven, we are challenged by a fire trooper. It is no surprise that he shoots fire at Snake, and we are able to defeat the trooper and finally run into Dr. Petrovich. However, his daughter Ellen has been captured and the doctor refuses to help us. Snake, like the badass he is, saves Ellen by again punching a wall down with only his fists. Once we speak to Ellen, she reveals that her father has been forced to make Metal Gear and pleads to us to save him. Returning to the doctor, it is revealed Metal Gear is stored 100 floors below the ground and can be destroyed by using bombs on its legs. Snake goes through a big swim and we now run into Dirty Duck. We 360 no-scope Duck from range and rescue the 3 prisoners. A very important note for future is that one of the prisoners reveals that when we leave Outer Heaven, we have to take the leftmost ladder. I wonder what that means. Now underground, Big Boss calls us to give a new order. We have to return to base as the mission is over. The rookie, who is also a badass, disobeys and we are now face to face with Metal Gear. To commence the legendary battle, we detonate 16 explosives at the legs of the ultimate weapon to destroy it for good and earn the Ultimate Weapon No More achievement. Once Metal Gear is destroyed, an emergency switch has been activated, and Snake has to evacuate ASAP. While sprinting out the doors, we are interrupted by Commander-in-Chief of Foxhound and Boss of Outer Heaven, Big Boss. It was Big Boss's plan all along to give the mission to a rookie to report false information to our superiors, but we have went too far. We now have to fight to the death. We defeat Big Boss, earning the Supreme Commander Down achievement. Now continuing our escape. We take the leftmost ladder and escape Outer Heaven while it explodes in the background. Snake reports back to base that Metal Gear has been destroyed and Operation Intrude N313 has been a success. The credits run and we earn the No Big Deal achievement for completing Metal Gear. After completing the game, we unlock Boss Survival Mode, which tasks us with taking down each of the game's bosses in one run. We commence the mode and one by one take down Shopmaker, Machine Gun Kid, Hind D, Battle Tank, Fire Trooper, Dirty Duck, Metal Gear, and Big Boss. For our efforts, we unlock the Outer Heaven Survivor achievement. Now that we have completed the original Metal Gear and its survival mode, there is one more achievement that we can't forget. A challenge so great that only a few in the world have completed it. Some say that this endeavor is so dangerous that Hideo Kojima himself has given a heavy warning to those who dare to attempt this challenge. And thus, for the video, we will try and achieve this challenge. That is correct. For our efforts of speedrunning the screenplay, we get the Cover to Cover Gear 1 and 2 achievement for simply reading the screenplay. Moving on to Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, takes place in 1999, 4 years after the events of Metal Gear. Solid Snake is taken out of retirement to infiltrate Zanzibar land and rescue the kidnapped biologist Dr. Marv. Similar to Metal Gear, we received the Right on Time achievement for starting Metal Gear 2. Once we gain control of Snake, we infiltrate the base by using the new mechanic of crawling. Once we are in the base, Holly calls us to state that she infiltrated Zanzibar land a month ago, and we are able to call her if we are in a pickle to receive tactical info on what to do next. We make our way through the base and discover a scientist who would look eerily similar to Dr. Marv. As we approach, it is revealed that it is the Green Ninja. The Black Ninja, a former member of NASA's Extraterrestrial Environment Special Forces unit. Snake engages into combat and downs the operative after a grueling fight. Once downed, it is revealed that he is Kyle Schneider, a former leader of the resistance movement in Outer Heaven. Once Outer Heaven was bombed, it is alluded to a familiar foe saved the operative. He instructs us with finding a soldier with a green beret to find Dr. Marv. We find the Green Beret and begin tailgating in one of the most intense, grueling, and pinnacle level designs in all of gaming. Once that is over, we are now able to head into the building, where we unlock the feature to call Dr. Madner. Dr. Madner has been kept alive in Zanzibar to develop a new Metal Gear, and Big Boss is revealed to be behind it all. We now leave to track down Dr. Marv, who was moved to a different building. Progressing forward, we are now put face to face with Running Man, the world's fastest mercenary. He is so good, in fact, that he has released nerve gas in the room, and we have to defeat him prior to running out of air. Snake uses his speed against him as we place 4 mines in one spot and await the Running Man to simply run over them. For our efforts, we are able to collect the Stinger and some ammunition. Snake is now tasked with running all the way back through the swamp until we get to a barren land where we get a mysterious tip that we are in a minefield and we have to watch out. The caller departs ominously, stating that they are our #1 fan. We continue further and encounter another Hind D, which can now fly. We use our recently acquired Stinger and make light work of the helicopter. Progressing forward, we are met with the most technical and groundbreaking mechanic in the game, the cardboard box. We utilize the cardboard box to jump onto a conveyor belt and get transported directly into the base. We now get another call from Holly, and she reports being discovered and she is now a prisoner. She is able to provide us with weird directions, and we are off to save the damsel in distress. Snake blows up a wall to free Holly, and once Snake first looks at her, we know he has fallen head over heels for her. Snake asks Holly about Dr. Marv, and Holly reports that a carrier pigeon has a clue to his whereabouts. However, it is flown up an elevator. On our journey to the mysterious pigeon, we are trapped by Red Blaster, in which a full yeeting contest of grenades commences. After defeating Red Blaster, we make our way up to the roof and catch the pigeon using our rations. The message is a mysterious code, and thus we have to make a phone call. It's Dr. Marv. After finally getting into contact with Dr. Marv, we find out there is an issue. He can only speak Russian. We call Dr. Madna, and he suggests making contact with Gustava, as she can translate Russian for Snake. There is only one slight problem with contacting Gustava. She has actually stolen an enemy uniform, and is the only female in an enemy disguise. Thus meaning we have to locate Gustava in only a location in which a female would go. Snake, not creepy at all, hides outside the women's restroom until a soldier enters. We follow along and run into Gustava, who Snake theorizes to look eerily similar to a former Olympian known as the Ice Princess. Gustava says Dr. Marv is safe, and he's opposite a large crevice outside the building. We take a shortcut via the ladies' restroom, and along the way run into Dr. Madna, who joins us on our little adventure. The adventure doesn't last long, as Madna has to take a break to attend to some business. Snake and Gustava share an intimate moment, as she confesses to being the former Olympic athlete, and they share a bond over the traumas of war. Madna returns from a bathroom break, which means the adventure continues. The Fellowship encounters a bridge that only one person can cross at a time. Madna proceeds first and has no issues. Gustava makes it to the middle until suddenly the bridge explodes with Gustava on it. Gustava says her final words to Snake when suddenly Madna is taken away by soldiers and the nightmare itself appears. Metal Gear. Grey Fox from the first game is revealed to be operating the nuclear machine. Grey Fox warns Snake that he is taking Dr. Madna and that we should leave now for old time's sake. We depart the scene, and Holly recommends we hang glide off the tower over the crevice to continue to follow Metal Gear. We locate the hang glider and start the elevator ride up to the very top. Through pure Mega Brain strategies and forward planning, we place down 3 mines in the middle of each wall. Suddenly, on the journey upwards, we get a call from Grey Fox, who has sent an assassination team to eliminate Snake once and for all. We are introduced to the 4 horsemen, and through our big brain strategies, they simply jump onto our mines until they are defeated. Snake arrives at the top of the elevator and treks up the remaining flights of stairs while being chased. Once the enemies stop chasing Snake, we are now in a position to make the jump. He flies like an angel over the crevice and enters a new boss encounter, who is revealed to be Jungle Evil. Snake makes light work of the evil by lobbing grenades. Continuing further, Snake collects an egg. We then use an owl to trick a guard into thinking it is nighttime. Because it's nighttime, he goes and deactivates the lasers on a gate, which enables us to enter the compound. We are now underground as we receive a call from our #1 fan. He warns us about a Night Fright, the last surviving member of the Whispers, a legendary guerrilla unit. He is wearing a new camouflage suit, which practically makes him invisible. Snake is able to defeat the Invisible Man and continue further until we are faced with Dr. Madna. Unfortunately, we were too late. Dr. Marv has already passed. Snake inspects the body and discovers a bruise on his neck. Madna tells us not to worry, as the plans Marv created are in a backup game cartridge he had, a true gamer. Thankfully, we won't have to stray too far, as the game cartridge is being held in the locked locker in the same room. Snake, thankfully, has prepared for this, as he currently has possession of the key. Holly then calls us to inform Snake she's investigated Dr. Madna. Her findings revealed that after the events of Out of Heaven, Madna was exiled from the scientific community, which led to Zanzibar Land offering him a prestigious opportunity to become a double agent. Madna confesses that all he wanted to do was to complete Metal Gear, and he killed Dr. Marv in the process. Additionally, Madna was behind Gustava's death on the bridge. Once Madna has nothing to lose, he pounces onto Snake and begins choking us out to obtain the key. Thankfully, Snake is able to defeat Madna and unlock the locker. We crawl through the space and see rats? We lure each one out with some cheese, and Snake is able to collect the game cartridge. When exiting the room, Madna gives us his final vow to use Metal Gear, when suddenly we fall behind a trapdoor. Once we stop falling, we are met with a familiar voice of Grey Fox, who states there's no way to destroy Metal Gear. We head through the door, and we are met face to face with Metal Gear, but this time with a D, because it's called Metal Gear D. And an epic battle begins of Snake throwing grenades at feet. Thrilling gameplay. Once Metal Gear goes down, we unlock We Didn't Start the Fire achievement. Snake is left face to face with Grey Fox, where Snake is left literally on fire. This means we have to discard everything in our inventory. Progressing forward, we meet Grey Fox, face to face again, where an epic Rocky v Creed matchup proceeds, where two men are left throwing punches to the death. Grey Fox eventually hits the floor after the grueling fight. He states that he will have to renounce the title of Fox. He continues by saying Big Boss saved him, and despite hating war, he could never escape it due to it being all he has ever known. Thus, Grey Fox and Big Boss require consistent wars to survive. Fox concludes by saying to Snake not to let his fans down, thus revealing Fox was our biggest fan this entire time. Once the conversation is over, we unlock the Your Number One Fan achievement for defeating Grey Fox. We collect the cartridge from Grey Fox when someone calls out to us. It's Big Boss, who managed to survive being killed and exploded in Outer Heaven. Big Boss says to Snake that the only thing that satisfies us is war, and that he's given us a place to live, as he believes this is better due to war never ending, and there's no other purpose in life, and we are doomed to share a fate of dying like dogs on the battlefield. Snake wants to free himself from Big Boss's iron claw, and states that whoever wins this fight will live the rest of his days as a soldier. The final battle commences. Noting Snake discarded all of his inventory, this fight plays out like a puzzle, where we go around the room collecting items until we have a lighter and a can of spray. Once both items are collected, we use our DIY flamethrower to defeat Big Boss. It's over. Big Boss is dead, and thus unlocking the achievement. Upon leaving, we are discovered by a guard. Turns out to be Holly, and she gives us a gun. We call Charlie, our pilot, for an exfiltration as soon as possible. Snake and Holly run to the rendezvous point and have to hold out until Charlie can arrive. Eventually, Snake runs out of ammo, and we get surrounded. Charlie then swoops in and is able to gun down the enemies, where the game concludes with us flying into the sunset, thus unlocking the Free From Rations achievement for completing Metal Gear 2. Similar to Metal Gear 1, now that we have completed the game, we unlock the boss survival mode for Metal Gear 2, which plays out the exact same. We start our run and take out Black Ninja, Running Man, Hind D, 4 Horsemen, Night Fright, Metal Gear D, Grey Fox, and finally, Big Boss. For our efforts, we unlocked the Zanzibar Land Survivor achievement. Successfully, we have now collected all the achievements for Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Overall, it took us 7 hours to complete, and it was really enjoyable seeing the foundation for what is yet to come. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.